Football is sponsored by Dave & Buster's. It is the 95th homecoming game for the Baylor Bears. They're making their way across the Brazos River to take on Oklahoma State. The Baylor Line is revved up and ready to go, getting set to greet their Bears as they are already here on homecoming weekend. But before we talk about this week, we have to go back to last week, specifically for Oklahoma State. Their upset win against number 6 Texas. Taylor Cornelius connected on 3 first-half touchdown passes, a couple of those going the way of their leading receiver, Tylan Wallace. 31-14, the Cowboys led at halftime, but Texas comes storming back. 21 second-half points, tensions flaring. Tom Herman, Mike Gundy. As the bell rang, of course, Mike Gundy puts on a show better than just about anybody. The upset went on homecoming for Oklahoma State back in Stillwater, 38-35. A big win for the Cowboys. Welcome to Waco, Aaron Goldsmith and Evan Moore. Evan, when you go back, you look at that game, I know you have. What stands out to you the most?
Well, I think it was a really explosive offense getting back on track for Oklahoma State, and due in large part to career days from Taylor Cornelius and Tylan Wallace, their wide receiver. But it starts with their star running back, Justice Hill. He is a spectacular player, and he looks to continue his spectacular career here today against the Baylor defense.
Now for Baylor, Jalen McClendon, the senior grad transfer, came off the bench last week in Morgantown. It was a lopsided loss, unfortunately, for Baylor. Charlie Brewer is the starting quarterback. He started last week. He was concussed, had to exit the game. He has passed concussion protocol. He is available today, but they will go with McClendon.
Well, one of the things this Baylor quarterback position's done over the course of the year is take care of the football. And last week it got away from him a little bit. Three turnovers at the quarterback position and only 8 pass attempts. But Jalen McClendon will start today. Almost won the job in the preseason. Had some time earlier this year. He's a grad transfer from NC State. Big arm, has a chance to push the ball down the field to these talented Baylor wide receivers.
Absolutely gorgeous late morning here in Waco, Texas. Nearly 70 degrees. A little windy, though. 18 miles an hour right now. Expected to maybe get some gusts over 20 miles an hour as this game goes along, but nothing but sunshine here in Texas. And we take a look at Matt Rule, the second-year head coach. Former Penn State linebacker, of course, 4 fantastic years with Temple, helped turn that program around, back-to-back 10-win seasons, his final 2 years there. And already a big improvement from last year, Evan.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you talk about what he was able to accomplish at Temple. He's got the blueprint. Done some good things this year for Baylor.
Oklahoma State winning, deferring, and kicking off. As Baylor will start things off from their own 25. So Jalen McClendon, who came off the bench, passed for just over 180 yards last week, ran for a touchdown, grad transfer from North Carolina State. They really think he's got an NFL caliber arm, but he's making his first career start here today.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago we were talking about a 2-quarterback system here in Waco earlier this season with Charlie Brewer. Charlie Brewer grabbed control of this offense moving forward. Now, following his performance last week and being in concussion protocol, obviously being cleared today, he's available. But this staff feels really good about Jalen McClendon's ability in an offense like this with these talented receivers.
A design rollout on the opening play. He throws and complete to the 40-yard line right away to Marcus Jones. 1 catch each of the last 2 weeks for Jones. This is good for 14 to begin the game.
And just like Charlie Brewer, Jalen McClendon also has that added skill set of mobility that he can utilize. And on that first play, they elect to get him out of the pocket, throws a nice ball over to the sideline to Marcus Jones.
I'll be interested to see how much Baylor runs the ball today. They were telling us yesterday this will be an emphasis to try to establish a ground game and be more balanced as right away they go to the ground. And a good pickup as they hand things off to Hurd. 8-yard gain. Converted running back to wide receiver.
Yeah, that leads us nicely into who to watch. Their main back, JaMycal Hasty, but you just saw Jalen Hurd get a carry there. That's their best playmaker on offense. Primarily a wide receiver, but will get carries out of the backfield. And on the Oklahoma State defense, keep your eye on number 94, Jordan Braille, for 9 sacks on the year. A sack leader in the Big 12 so far this year.
Back on the ground again out towards midfield and driven back. Right back to Hurd.
Yeah, I think we're seeing Hurd get some more carries here early in an effort to get this run game going. He's their best short yardage back without any question. The other backs, JaMycal Hasty and John Levitt, amongst others. These guys do a really good job carrying the football, but they want to get Jalen Hurd as many touches as they can in this offense.
Hurd entered today 65 yards shy of 4,000 all-purpose yards for his career. McClendon to pass, complete. Hurdle for a first First down and more out to the 30. What a move by Josh Fleets, the true freshman. Last week ran for a touchdown. This one good for 21 yards.
Josh Fleeks, every time he gets on the field, he seems to make a play. He's a young guy, a true freshman that has tried to get more and more playing time in the midst of other talented wide receivers on this roster. But they told us you will see more Josh Fleeks today. Based on his playmaking ability, they want to get him on the field, get him as many touches as they can.
Now, Matt Rule wants to spread the ball around, especially early on, get his playmakers involved this week. I already mentioned the emphasis on the ground game. It's Hasty in the backfield. Baylor's leading rusher. They hand to Hasty. Spins, tries to make a man miss. Stays on his feet. It's an impressive run. Hasty picks up 7, a guy known maybe almost as much for catching the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah, Jermichael Hasty's kind of the more elusive, quicker back between he and John Lovett. John Lovett more the one cut and go type of guy, but you're going to see a number of guys get carries, that committee approach in the backfield for the Baylor Bears.
Back to Hasty on 2nd and 3, enough for a first down. And it sets up 1st and goal for the Bears on their opening drive. Gashing Oklahoma State for 13 yards that time.
And one thing we're seeing the Baylor offense do is spread you out a little bit, try to simplify the looks they're getting from the Oklahoma State defense. That Baylor offensive line does a nice job opening up a hole. An offensive line that has had some moving parts. Connor Galvin, the true freshman at left tackle today, in place of Jake Frumorgan. Moving the ball nicely on the ground in this opening drive.
Another carry for her, trying to string it out. You know, Baylor has scored a touchdown on every goal-to-go drive this season, all 14 of them, in fact.
And one thing we're going to see early in this game is tempo. I mean, both teams, both Oklahoma State and Baylor offensively, are going to utilize tempo and try to get the ball snapped, no huddling, and simplify the looks of these defenses, and it's worked very effectively so far in Jalen McClendon's opening drive.
Hasty taken down at the 6. Colby Peel, the true freshman who started a handful of games out of College Station, right there to pull him down.
Yeah, this 4-2-5 defense that Oklahoma State runs with new defensive coordinator Jim Knowles puts a lot on these defensive backs. Whether it's Jarek Bernard, Malcolm Rodriguez, Edison Magruder, or Colby Peel, all these guys need to come up and be physical in the run game and make tackles consistently.
On 3rd and goal, McClendon to pass. Over the middle and intercepted back of the end zone. Darius Williams, the sophomore from Shreveport. That was a crushing ending for what was a very promising opening drive for Baylor. Williams, who last year set the freshman record for passes broken up for Oklahoma State, with the interception back of the end zone. Taylor Cornelius, the reigning conference offensive player of the week, 321 yards, 3 touchdowns, a couple on the ground last week in that upset win against Texas. Senior quarterback starting this year for the first time, patiently waiting his turn. And he is swarmed and dropped down inside the 15 on the first play of the game for Oklahoma State. Ira Lewis right there.
Yeah, it's critical for them to try to get pressure on Taylor Cornelius. He's had his struggles this year when they haven't been able to protect him. He has good mobility. You see more of that in the run game when he'll keep it on options and whatnot. But if they can get to him, they can really disrupt the tempo of this Oklahoma State offense, which has been so explosive for the better part of the year.
On the ground, back near the original line of scrimmage, Justice Hill, Big 12 second leading rusher. However, 3 straight games he's been held under 100 yards. First time that's happened since his freshman year in 2016. Trying to get him going today.
Yeah, this is really where it starts for this offense. Justice Hill is an explosive running back, and if they can get him going, they start to get those explosive plays through the air in play action.
The pass. Now flush. Cornelius tucking. Pass to 30. And that will be enough for a first down. But how about who to watch when Oklahoma State
when
has
Oklahoma
the
State has the ball is Justice Hill, spectacular running back, and then Tylan Wallace, a career day last week, kind of next in line with these great Oklahoma State wide receivers.
Swing it out to Hill. Hill upfield. Hill down the sideline and tripped up at the 40. Almost a game breaker. Chris Miller, who did not play last week, the safety out of Frisco, Texas.
And if you're assessing the play of the Baylor defense over the course of the year, especially in conference play, it's the inability to stop the big explosive plays. The momentary lapses on defense that result in points for other teams. They have to find a way to combat that here today.
Quick snap. Cornelius keeping, lowers the shoulder and pays the price. Gains 4.
Yeah, there's some mobility there, and you won't see any design runs for him. They're all off of the read, the zone read, or whatever they want to call it. But when he gets out in the open field, he can go. He's a strider, and he's tough as well. He can take those hits and fall forward on those keeps.
To Wallace, first down, stiff arm. Knocked out of bounds shy of the 10.
Yeah, Raleigh Tejada, a guy that's had a good year for this Baylor defense, but at the same time, when you're facing a guy like Tylan Wallace, who is surging at this point of the year, that's going to be a tough matchup for him today.
To Hubbard. Try to lunge forward, try to get to the 5, comes up shy there.
Well, we got some tempo here, Hunter. I almost need to stop talking and just let you do your job.
No.
They are moving quickly right now.
11th play coming up here. Cornelius on the draw. Ran for 2 scores last week. Finds one this week. Oklahoma State on the board first.
And what that tempo does is not only make you simplify your defense, because you got to line up quickly and not all the guys are on the same page, but it also wears you out. You watch the defensive linemen of Baylor over the course of that drive. Some of them had their hands on their hips. And you start to wonder about the depth of the Baylor front 7 and whether or not they can rotate bodies in, and also whether or not Oklahoma State can keep this tempo up. They're going to get tired as well. But that was an efficient drive.
Matt Amendola puts it through. 7-0 Oklahoma State here on Baylor's homecoming. After the interception back of the end zone, opening drive for the Cowboys results in 6. Oklahoma State a win away from making a bowl game for the 13th straight year. An 11-play, 80-yard drive capped by Taylor Cornelius and a 6-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, there's so much tempo there. If you're Matt Rhule, you're standing on the sideline wondering what just happened. I mean, they move so quickly, and that's one thing Matt Rhule mentioned as well, is we need to be able to withstand that initial push from Oklahoma State's offense. They'll script those plays early. That first drive is largely scripted, and they'll move really, really quickly because everyone knows what to expect. But this will settle in here at some point for Matt Rhule's defense once they move beyond those first couple drives.
Over Platt's head. After a 55-yard punt, long field ahead for Baylor as Hasty is wrapped up. Picks up just a couple on the play.
A nice tackle by Jordan Brailford. You'll see him move around quite a bit on that defensive front. They look to get him isolated for pass rushing matchups, but also in the run game does a really nice job. At 6'3", 250, is light enough to have the speed that he has, but also has the strength in the run game to get off blocks and make those physical tackles.
Empty backfield for McClendon, making his first career start. Grad transfer from North Carolina State, played majority of last week's game, a loss against West Virginia. Short pass heard is met immediately. That's a dangerous pass there. Could have been intercepted. Malcolm Rodriguez on the coverage.
We talked about the number of options that Baylor has on the outside. Jalen Hurd, Chris Platt, Mims, their main options, but a lot of young guys getting chances today as well.
Now here in the first quarter, interception back of the end zone by Rodarius Williams. Touchdown run on the other end by Cornelius. It's 7-0 Oklahoma State through 1. It's an absolutely gorgeous day here inside McLean Stadium in Waco. We start the second quarter. 3rd and 5 here for Baylor. McClendon dancing. Now Tux trying to pick it up with his legs and might have enough. Justin Phillips, a linebacker, the senior out of Pearland, Texas, tackles him after a gain of 6 and a first down.
Yeah, we're trying to isolate number 25, Treston Ebner. You see him at the bottom of your screen. on what would look like a wheel route. Jalen McClendon has to get out of the pocket quicker than he expected. It's just enough for the first down. Nice physical run. Chased down there by Justin Phillips, a leading tackler for Oklahoma State.
Backfield for McClendon. They bring Fleeks in motion. They had his way. He gets strung out. Hardly a gain on the play. Justin Phillips running stride for stride. Now a flag comes out over by the Oklahoma State sideline.
It's getting a little chippy over there after that last drive. We saw a little extracurricular activity after a couple of those plays, and I think this is the same thing right here.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 4, it's his first of the game. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Stay on the left side of the screen. Very late, I think A.J. Green, the corner, there he is at the bottom, comes in and is still engaged with Chris Platt, the wide receiver. Oh, and there you go. The second guy, as the old saying goes, second guy always gets caught. A.J. Green caught with a penalty.
They fake the gift to her. McClendon takes it himself and falls across the midfield. Picks up 4. Brought down by Colby Peel, the safety.
Yeah, we mentioned Jalen McClendon, the grad transfer from NC State. Spent the better part of his career at NC State behind Jacoby Brissett and Ryan Finley, 2 really talented quarterbacks. Obviously, Jacoby Brissett now in the NFL, and Ryan Finley starting for the NC State Wolfpack. Made his way over to Baylor. Really expected to win the starting job this year. If you talk to him, he came here to start. He's done a really nice job staying engaged over the course of the year. When Charlie Brewer took the reins of this offense, Jalen McClendon didn't lose focus, stayed engaged, and here's his opportunity.
The handoff on 2nd and 6. A first down. It's Lovett.
We talked about John Lovett being that one cut and go back. Does a really good job being decisive, but it's Connor Galvin coming around on the pole, gets up to the second level on number 8. Is able to be effective on that block and spring a bigger running lane for John Lovett.
Lovett picks up 16. Now the connection really for McClendon here to Baylor, the wide receiver coach Frisman Jackson, who was at North Carolina State when McClendon was there. Also, McClendon thinks that when his playing days are over, he might want to be a team chaplain one day. He's enrolled in Baylor's Truett Seminary School. McClendon to the sideline. Has Hurd inside the 10 and wrestled out of bounds at the 5. The flag is out, though.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 4, at the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
If you watch Jarek Bernard come up and get sucked up on the Baylor player out of the backfield, leaves a nice little pocket for Jalen Hurd, and he does a nice job of sitting down in that zone. Jalen McClendon finds him, delivers a strike for a big game.
Second penalty by Green on this drive. Hurd. Stonewalled. They'll sort out the bodies. Had a good surge.
Yeah, keep in mind, this is their best short yardage back, Jalen Hurd is. He's number 2 in Tennessee history in career carries. Former running back at the University of Tennessee, transferred here, sat out last year.
This time to sneak up the middle. Is McClendon in? He is.
And Aaron, it's a great answer by this Baylor offense. They had some issues on the last drive on defense. It looked like Oklahoma State was going to put together a nice drive and get some points. And Baylor's defense bows its neck, gets the ball back after the missed field goal. And Baylor's offense just marches right back down and feeds off some of the energy from that previous drive. Really, really good answer by the Baylor offense.
There's Connor Martin, who missed a 26-yard field goal earlier today. Put it through, and with 8:17 to play in the first half, Baylor has tied this game at 7 here at homecoming weekend. This game now tied at 7. Baylor, who had been held scoreless in 5 of the previous 6 quarters of play, able to punch it in on the quarterback sneak to the back of the end zone. First and 10 at the 25. Trying to get the ball in Hill's hands more. Only 3 carries. Near first down yardage. Blake Johnson, who's been dealing with an injured knee but is getting better, makes a tackle after a pickup of 8. Gets rid of it quickly. Enough for the first down. Tyron Johnson's been a popular target today. Second leading receiver, gains 11.
Yeah, one of the most impressive things with Taylor Cornelius today has been their timing in some of these intermediate range routes. 8 to 12 yards down the field. Ball's out before the receivers even turned around. Really good timing.
Hill able to stay on his feet and kind of lunge forward to move the chains.
Yeah, only his 4th carry of the day. You know, I talked a minute ago about how we were a little surprised that we hadn't seen more of that. Especially some of the big plays that the Baylor defense has given up on the ground this year. Not sure what's going on here. A number of guys on the field giving him a chance to sub. Expect to see a little more Justice Hill as we approach the midway point of the quarter.
I've got Chuba Hubbard in the backfield now. Hill this year has a chance to close in on his 3rd 1,000-yard season. But instead of the belly of Hubbard. Hubbard gets crunched at the end of that run after a pickup of 6.
Yeah, and how elite Hill has been over the course of his career. They're so fortunate to have their change of pace guys with Chuba Hubbard and J.D. King. Chuba Hubbard, a big-time speed out of the backfield. What a good weapon for him.
Alan Williams delivers a blow inside the 20. First down right over Raleigh Tejada.
The emergence this year of Tylan Wallace. Only 7 catches last year as a true freshman, as he played largely behind James Washington, the superstar Biletnikoff Award winner here last year.
Well, they fake it to Wallace. Now they go out to Johnson, overthrown out of bounds. Raleigh Tejada stride for stride.
Yeah, Tyron Johnson had a step on Raleigh Tejada, and Taylor Cornelius came back to that route at the end. Ended up stepping kind of towards the sideline to throw that ball. It was a little off with his footwork, a little off platform. Ends up sailing that ball a little bit. Definitely had a step on him. He drops that in. An easy touchdown.
Hubbard patiently delivers a blow at the end of the run inside the 15. Pick up a 5 for Kendrick Vons.
James Lockhart almost able to make that play, getting off that block by Jelani Woods, the cowboy back for the Oklahoma State offense.
Hubbard strung out. Hubbard first down. Just over 6 minutes to play first half here in Waco. First and goal at the 7. Only touchdown so far for Oklahoma State. Taylor Cornelius, the quarterback run. They hand off. Justice Hill trying to string it out. Not going anywhere. Bulldozed out of bounds.
A really nice pursuit of the football by James Lynch and company. This Oklahoma State offense really likes these outside zone stretch plays, where they'll continue to stretch that play all the way to the sideline if they need to, until Justice Hill and these running backs see that hole, put the foot in the ground, and get north and south. Wasn't able to find one there with the pursuit of James Lynch and James Lockhart.
They feed Justice Hill again. Bring down 3rd and goal. Gains 2.
Good matchup here down at the bottom of the screen with number 23, Derek Thomas for Baylor, and number 2, Tylan Wallace for Oklahoma State. Derek Thomas, a 6'3", 195-pound corner, former wide receiver. Was a Temple grad transfer, was at Temple with Matt Rule. Has some size on Tylan Wallace. He's a 6'1", 185-pound receiver, but does a great job of going up and making contested catches.
Cornelius to pass on 3rd and goal. Back of the end zone, and it is out of bounds, not made. Looking for Landon Wolf, the former walk-on. Jamison Houston was right there, the Austin native.
Now, Jamison Houston does a really nice job using the boundary. Landon Wolf is forced to go up, make the catch. Is able to, well, his momentum's already taken him out of bounds. I'm actually surprised he didn't use the bottom of the formation. Tylan Wallace came on a slant and had position on Derek Thomas, but he decided to go up top to Landon Wolf. A little too far in the corner.
Amendola missed from 47, kicking into the wind. Same direction here from just 19. 10-7 Oklahoma State with 4:42 to play here in the first half.
And as any football coach will tell you, hey, we're at our best when our offensive line is controlling the tempo and controlling the line of scrimmage. It's been spotty at times. And when they don't protect Cornelius as well as they did against Texas last week, it becomes a little more difficult for them to push the ball down the field.
Josh Fleeks with a running start. Just past the 20.
Josh Fleeks on return.
Handed off, trying to stretch things out. Ebner. Of course, Charlie Brewer, the normal starter, injured last week in Morgantown. He was concussed. This is a loss of 4. Past concussion protocol this week. In fact, he was cleared to play on Thursday, but a limited week of practice nonetheless. Didn't practice at all on Monday.
And that's the biggest thing. I mean, it's not, Charlie Brewer wasn't benched coming out of last week. I mean, he knows that he'd like to give him one more week to get back, get healthy. And if you don't practice in football, it's difficult. This isn't basketball where it takes you a couple days to prepare for an opponent.
I'm taking a shot at basketball, I see. Oh, boy.
The prep starts back on Monday. And if you're missing practice, you're missing critical installation time.
Watch out, baseball. You're next. McClendon trying to set up the screen. Some pressure from Jarrell Owens.
Need I say, though, I actually like that element of basketball. You over-prepare for football. Everybody over-prepares for that,
Evan.
A little misdirection trying to set up the screen. It'd be tough to set up a screen against a pass rush like Oklahoma State. We referenced coming into the game, #1 in the FBS in sacks. And that's both by scheme and by just winning one-on-one matchups. You got guys like Jordan Brailford. They're going to win those one-on-one matchups. And also, as you draw things up schematically with defensive coordinator Jim Knowles, he's going to find ways to engineer pressure as well.
3rd and long here. Pressure from the backside. Dumps it off. Hasty nowhere to go. A flag comes in.
Holding, offense number 77. Penalties decline. Brings up 4th down.
So Patrick Lawrence making his 34th consecutive start today.
You watch Patrick Lawrence there at the top of your screen, number 77. Again, that's Jordan Brailford wreaking havoc, coming around the edge. And his speed move is really difficult to stop. There are times if you're Patrick Lawrence where you're just going to have to grab on and hope that it's not called. In that case, it was. But Jordan Brailford individually is #3 in the FBS in sacks.
Stoner finding the sun a little bit, calls for the fair catch. This is a man who bleeds orange, was a quarterback, of course.
Not 40 anymore, though.
It's
not 40.
Been a while since he was 40.
While. We're in the 50s now, aren't we?
Best starting field position today for Mike Gundy's Cowboys. And off the Hill, cuts up field. Hill is 7th carry. Now 57 yards. Of course, a long of 31.
Well, Ira Lewis did a really nice job there of chasing from the backside. That's what's so important. These outside zone schemes that Oklahoma State likes to run. It's really important for your backside linebacker and your backside defensive tackle, your tackle to have good pursuit, because a lot of times you end up unblocked. If you can get there with speed, make a play.
Looking downfield, trying to find Johnson. Just a stride too far ahead of him. Tyron Johnson, the LSU transfer, former 5-star recruit.
Kalen Barnes just out of step on Kalen Barnes, the true freshman. He's getting some time today in place of Derek Thomas at times. That's a matchup I think they like against the young guy down the field.
Third and 9. Ball to the 33. Stoner the man in motion.
Flushed, squares his shoulders and hit as he throws. Nearly intercepted at midfield. Ross Matisic with the pressure on the backside.
We talked earlier about one of their best pass rushers, B.J. Thompson. When he knows he can just peel those ears back and go after the passer. Really good at getting there. 6'6", 220 pounds. Look, last year, as a true freshman, he played under 200 pounds as a pass rusher. That blows me away. At 6'6", amazing to think a guy could get out there and rush the passer at under 200 pounds. But it's the athleticism and the speed that separates him in getting after the quarterback.
And more impressively, he won the football team
Dunk contest as this is blocked and taken back to the house. Chad Kelly the block. Byron Hanspard able to score the go-ahead touchdown. 13-10 Baylor.
And Baylor has not been great at returning punts as of late. But a big reason is they're trying to get there. They're trying to get a block. They're not holding up at the line of scrimmage. They're trying to rush and get their hands up and make a play. They almost got there on the last one. And this one, they get home and make a game-changing play to take the lead before the half.
I think it's Treston Ebner who comes up with that block.
It's great to see guys contributing on special teams. Treston Ebner, obviously a third down back as well in offense, making a play on special teams.
And 6 blocks for this Baylor special team unit dating back to last year.
See him come off the edge to the right of your screen. Nobody gets to him. He's got too much speed. You can't let that guy run free. That ball's not going to come out nearly quick enough. Execution here by the Oklahoma State punt team unit.
That's the end of the first half here at McLean Stadium in Waco, Texas. 14-10. Baylor's on top right now. Back to Mike Hill and Dave Wanstead in L.A. Today, the 95th homecoming game for the Baylor Bears. They lead Oklahoma State 14-10. Welcome back to Waco, Aaron Goldsmith and Evan Moore. And Evan, we just saw the score. Pretty impressive. Baylor is winning at halftime, given all the missed opportunities in the first half.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma State's fortunate to not have given up more points because Baylor was able to move the ball pretty effectively in the first quarter. We saw early on in the game that interception early on in the end zone. Big mistake for Jalen McClendon. They come back on the next drive right after that and miss a field goal as well. So it's some miscues early on, but their ability to bounce back. And the next... After stopping Oklahoma State, moving down the field to a big Jalen Hurd play, and then a Jalen McClendon touchdown. And then the game-changing play of the day was the blocked punt. Christian Morgan getting the block punt, and then Treston Ebner recovering it for a touchdown to give Baylor this lead at halftime. Now, if you're Oklahoma State, the key is to try to get that tempo back as well that they lost. Got to get that tempo back offensively.
First half stats sponsored by Dave & Buster's. Eat, drink, play, and watch sports. Of course, Mike Gundy and Oklahoma State coming off that very emotional win last Saturday night at home on their homecoming night, taking down number 6 Texas. Meanwhile, Matt Rule and this Baylor team, they're coming off their worst performance of the year. They were gashed on Thursday night in Morgantown against West Virginia. Lost their starting quarterback in the process. Out of bounds.
Yeah, only a 4-point deficit here, so there's no reason they can't try to get the run game established with Justice Hill. This offense goes as he goes, and also trying to establish some kind of tempo like they had early in the first quarter and find better matchups for Tylan Wallace deeper over the middle of the field.
Cornelius trying to regain some of that momentum from the first quarter. He finds Tylan Wallace, pick up of 12 and a first down.
Yeah, most of Tylan Wallace's targets in the first quarter were on basically jump balls down the field, and you like to see him get him involved in other ways. That's a tough matchup for him on Derek Thomas.
Pressure coming. He gets rid of it just in time.
And Tyron Johnson can't make the catch. Terrell Bernard was flying in there. Tejada on the coverage.
Well, Tejada's done a nice job over the course of the year, and they feel like he's getting better, too. As you watch that hit on Taylor Cornelius. A little different than the NFL. When they talk about bringing your weight down on a passer as you tackle him, that's not as prevalent here in college football, but they're still very vigilant about taking care of the quarterback, that's for sure.
Baylor leading here in the third quarter. Overshoots, isn't taking the target once again. Continues to go the way of Tyron Johnson, second leading receiver.
We talked about the optimism for Oklahoma State's offense coming into this game. A lot of it was with the improvement of the offensive line. Go back to Iowa State, they allowed 7 sacks. And last week against Texas, big improvement, only allowed 3 and had over 4 yards of carry in the first half. Just haven't been able to consistently get the run game going today against Baylor.
3rd and 10 of the 32. Over the middle, catch is made, and almost a vicious hit laid down by Vons. But it's a first down. Able to find Stoner. His second catch is good for 23.
Yeah, we know Dylan Stoner is a reliable middle of the field receiver. He knows he's going to take a big hit there. Goes up and catches it and brings it down.
Justice Hill, the conference's second leading rusher, led the conference last year over 1,400 yards. 2nd and 6 at the Baylor 41. Cornelius changing things. He wants to throw. Flush, squares over the middle, and the catch complete for a first down. And Stoner once again over the middle of the field.
Yeah, one of the dangers, only bringing 3 if you're the Baylor defense, and Phil Snow, the defensive coordinator. Taylor Cornelius just shifts out to his left a little bit, finds someone in zone coverage.
Cornelius gets away. Stoner on his feet, dragging inside the 10. He's been big this drive after being very quiet in the first half.
Yeah, this offense has had some success over the middle of the field as well. They've taken their shots outside, been unsuccessful for the most part, but utilizing the middle of the field with Dylan Stoner has been a good recipe on this drive.
Cornelius on the draw. Shy of the 5-yard line and the first down.
Yeah, we still haven't seen Derek Thomas come back out on the field yet. We've seen Jamison Houston over the top of Tylan Wallace. Now Tylan Wallace down in the slot at the bottom of your screen, number 2. And they'll bring Jamison Houston over to him and play man-to-man. Now, you have to like that matchup. Jamison Houston, 5'11", 196. And Wallace being the elite receiver he is this year. You got to like the matchup he has on number 11 over what he had earlier on Derek Thomas.
11th play of the drive. They can pick up a first down at the 4. Swinging out Tylan Wallace. Wallace, eyes towards the pylon. He bulldozes his way in for the touchdown.
Offside. Defense. Number 13 was lined up in the neutral zone. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is touchdown.
Now, we typically see Wallace lined up on the right side of the field. This time they bring him in the slot, bring him in motion, and run him on the swing route. Trying to find different ways to get in the ball, because obviously with the ball in his hand, dynamic player. Puts his shoulder down, in for 6.
And Mendola puts it through. 17-14. Oklahoma State on top. Tylan Wallace, who was a monster last week in the upset win against Texas, now gives the Cowboys a lead in the third quarter. And a hello to the good folks listening in Frisco, Texas, inside Dr. Pepper Ballpark, no doubt. Under 5 minutes to play in the third quarter as the wind gets a hold of this one on the tee.
We got a ball game, Aaron. See how the Baylor offense responds.
Taking the lead back. It's been kind of some frustrating drives in this game. Long drives for Baylor that not resulted in points. That's been a theme so far for almost 3 quarters for Baylor. Get an extra hand here on the hold. Baylor to begin from their 25. This looks like Gary Bohannon. And it is Gary Bohannon on the field for the first time. The true freshman from Arkansas picks up 2 yards on his first play from scrimmage this season.
Yeah, that new redshirt rule of allowing these young guys to play up to 4 games and still get a redshirt. The later we get in the year around the country, you're going to see it quite a bit. Some young guys getting a chance to get in there. Key to remember, though, these teams are still trying to win games. They're not experimenting, so to speak. They think Gary Bohannon gives them a chance to move the ball. Big-time recruit out of Arkansas.
Clinton back in the game. Hasty, the running back. With time, over the middle and knocked away. Good coverage there by Green. Trying to find Jalen Hurd.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the closing speed of these corners. Both were Darius Williams and A.J. Green. A.J. Green on that one. A shallow crossing route by Jalen Hurd, running across the field against man-to-man coverage, ideally trying to just get as much separation from A.J. as he can. A.J.'s closing speed is enough to get there and break up the play.
Green, who was so elite last week against Colin Johnson, the 6'6" receiver for the Longhorns, held to just 5 catches on 13 targets. Finds Hurd this time, who stretches for the first down. Trying to get there, and they'll come up just shy. Picks up 7.
Tried to stretch that out a little bit at the end. See the route running ability by Jalen Hurd. This is a former running back. Really impressive the way he's picked up the nuances of route running as he stretches that thing forward. Difficult to see where his left foot was when he went out of bounds and where that ball was at that moment from that angle.
Bouncing its way, and it hits a Baylor player. Down right by the 45. And Matt Rule having a conversation. Having an impressive turnaround for Taylor Cornelius. He ended the first half 3 for 10, but orchestrating a really impressive 11-play, 80-yard drive last time out for the Cowboys.
Yeah, this offense has a tendency at times to get a little stagnant. They've been so explosive over the course of the year that the other times fallen off a little bit. So it's trying to develop that consistency drive after drive with Cornelius.
Wrapped up right away, but a first down. Wallace is pulled down, and watch out. And of course, Wallace was flagged for targeting in the first quarter. That was overturned, overruled.
All right, this is a good physical tackle by Kalen Barnes. To go for the body slam. I don't think Tylan Wallace thought too much of that. He also might have thought that he was able to keep his knee off the ground. Probably tried to sell the fact that he was still up.
Only a 22-yard punt by Baylor has given Oklahoma State tremendous field position. A little start and stop run by Hill.
Regarding the run game for Oklahoma State, I think one of the things that has played into Baylor's hands is they have good speed sideline to sideline. And that's where Oklahoma State wants to get in the run game. They want to stretch you horizontally and then get vertical. And Baylor's defensive front and their front seven has been done a really good job of playing sideline to sideline and not giving those running lanes.
On 2nd and 9 to the end zone, and I've seen this a lot today. Overthrowing, and this time Tyron Johnson.
Yeah, Tyron Johnson, not the first time we've mentioned this, had a step. See Justice Hill pick up the pressure from Clay Johnston. And again, he's throwing with the wind now. So you wonder if that helps that ball sail a little bit. Cornelius typically will drop that in over his outside shoulder. One sails on him a little bit. Another missed opportunity in the passing game.
Trying to convert on 3rd down for the 3rd time of this drive.
Gotta like the ability of Dylan Stoner in the slot up top in situations like this in the middle of the field.
Instead to Hill.
They're setting up 4-down territory. Trying to get as much as they can. I expect them to go for this.
Under 2 minutes, 3rd quarter.
Yeah, know when you're going for it on 4th. Get 4 or 5 here. Put yourself in a manageable 4th down situation.
Last week, 2 for 2 on 4th down, both times touchdowns.
And they were willing to chuck it down the field on 4th down. Those weren't just easy plays.
Wallace, the man of motion. Get it in his hands quickly. He throws it back to Cornelius. He tucks, he runs, he's got it, he wants more inside the 10.
A really well-designed play by the offensive coordinator, Mike Yursich. Runs the same action we saw on the touchdown on the last drive. Throws it out to Tylan Wallace, who's always going to grab your attention when he has the football. And he fires it right back over to Taylor Cornelius. It's well blocked. Plenty of room for the first down.
It's a gain of 24. Cornelius looked a little gimpy after that play came to an end.
But also, by bringing him in motion, they're also able to see it's man-to-man, so they can clear that side of the field out. Throw it back to Cornelius.
On the ground, J.D. King. Pickup of just one.
You see J.D. King get a carry. A guy that complements Justice Hill and Chuba Hubbard. So much talent in this backfield. He's a guy that probably would start for a lot of other teams in the Big 12.
On 2nd and goal, to the air, to the end zone.
Tylan Wallace, second time he has found the end zone today.
Helping to extend things further for Oklahoma State, 23-14.
2 touchdowns last week, a pair today as well.
Love the play call. You know, they've been taking some shots on fade routes on Derek Thomas. Derek Thomas is not in the game. I think it's Kalen Barnes here, but the slant route, like getting him over the middle of the field a little more in the second half and open up some options to get him the football.
2-possession lead, 24-14. Final seconds.
So I'm sure Matt Rule is very keyed in here to see how his team responds now being down 10 after having that 4-point lead at halftime. It's a young team. Things can tend to unravel pretty quickly.
Third quarter then has been owned by Oklahoma State. Wallace twice finding pay dirt.
Works out this time. Did not start today, was concussed last week against West Virginia, but cleared. They'll start things off on the ground to John Lovett. Lovett to the 30, Lovett to the 10, all the way to the house for the score. 75 yards. Well, that quarterback change was a great idea.
It can manifest itself in a number of different ways, and we haven't seen John Lovett the last few weeks as much as we've seen JaMychal Hasty and even Charlie Brewer run the football. But you asked his coaching staff about his one-cut ability and his ability to make guys miss in the open field like he did right there when he gets into that second level with a full head of steam. No chance that that defensive back for Oklahoma State's going to make that tackle, and he also shows the game-breaking speed in the open field for a 75-yard touchdown run. It's well blocked from the beginning. If you watch right here on the right side of your screen, it's this move right here that allows it to take place. And he takes care of the rest. There's no way he's going to allow Justin Phillips, their middle linebacker, or Malcolm Rodriguez, their safety, to chase him down. Great speed in the open field. Now you see the Baylor sideline as well as the student section. There's some energy in here now.
Longest run allowed by this Oklahoma State defense since week 1.
That's the other side of the young team too. They can get emotional. You fire them up. Momentum is it's a real thing with these young teams. Once they get it on their side, they're, especially at home on homecoming, tend to hold on to it.
Returnable, Hubbard from the 5. Wrapped up at the 20.
Cornelius, 21 for 36, 243 yards.
On the ground to Hill. Hill has a first down. Shy of the 40.
Hill picks up 18. That'll take us to the 4th quarter. What a game here in Waco on homecoming.
It's been a little chippy at times.
We've seen Wallace a couple of times in the end zone. 24-21.
A look at things by quarter here today.
24-21.
That last drive, a big one for Baylor. Obviously, it had been down 14-0 in the third quarter alone. We talked about how would they respond. Big drive.
Justice Hill, J.D. King in the backfield. The hand to Justice Hill. Upfield. Our stats through 3 quarters here today. Of course, 3 combined missed field goals. Total yards greatly favoring the Cowboys.
Yeah, key to note that Baylor turnover took place inside the 10-yard line. Should have resulted in at least 3 points for him.
Justice Hill a little dinged up. That's Chris Miller, the safety, who comes in and makes the tackle. Just 1 win last year for Rule. Of course, he and the Bears were absolutely blown out in Stillwater last season. A game where Oklahoma State set their program record, 747 yards of offense. And a 59-16 win against Baylor. A lot different here today, however. And to Hubbard. Hubbard has a first down. Matt Rule going so far as to say, referencing last year's game, that if Mike Gundy were evil, they could have hung 70 points on him. That's how lopsided that game was last season.
I think Mike Gundy's been around long enough to know that stuff always comes full circle. So handling a blowout win like that in a classy fashion like he did, I think Matt Rule appreciated that.
First and 10 at the 49. Hubbard just a gain of a couple.
You see when these Oklahoma State running backs carry the ball at the mesh point, Cornelius holds it just long enough to get that backside defensive end to stand flat-footed and create a backside running lane for the running backs. Something to got to keep your eye on, because it's given the Oklahoma State running back group more yards over the course of the year, because Cornelius is just mobile enough to keep it on certain reads, open up running lanes.
Leading receiver Tyler Wallace all by himself, bottom of his screen. Back to Hubbard. A hurdle, and he pays the price. Clay Johnson's arm coming up by his helmet. Tried to tackle Kendrick Vaughns. Tried to hurdle him as it's enough for a first down. To the air this time. Some miscommunications there possibly with Wallace.
Yeah, it looked like Taylor Cornelius expected him to stop on his route. He ended up running kind of a slant route. That run pass option action at the mesh point. Threw it behind him a little bit. You'll see them get 2 running backs in the game. Their pony back set is what they call it, with J.D. King and Chuba Hubbard.
The hand is to King. It's on a nice move to get a couple of more. It's a pickup of 4 yards. King last year nearly 500 yards.
Yeah, they give themselves a lot of options in the run game, especially with their cowboy back. When they bring in either Britton Abbott, Jelani Woods, those guys can both play tight end and fullback positions. And what the tight end slash fullback gives you the option to do in these spread offenses is run those gap schemes and give you more flexibility in the run game. It's worked out well for Oklahoma State when they're at their best.
Justice Hill back on the field now. On 3rd and 6 to Hill, straight up field. Not nearly enough.
Yeah, well, once again, I think they know the wind is an issue. I don't think they want to punt it here. That's setting up a more manageable 4th down situation. Now you're at, we've got 4 to go.
I mean, 4th and 3, I believe.
4th and 3. Some people might not like the 3rd down call on 3rd and 6, but at the same time, again, it's to set up a shorter distance on 4th down.
Cornelius keeps, makes a man miss, and he's able to spin forward and fall for the first down. He gains 5.
Greg Roberts was in position. If you watch him on the left side of the screen, he just takes one step too far inside, gets outflanked by Taylor Cornelius, and unable to make the play.
Pressure, Cornelius swarmed and sacked. James Lynch there again.
James Lynch does an outstanding job with his technique. You watch him here, ooh, right tackle. Tevin Jenkins ends up tripping over his own feet. Making that pass to the quarterback for James Lynch much easier than he anticipated. I don't think it was the contact from James Lynch. I think Tevin Jenkins just got tangled up.
3 sacks today for Baylor. That's been such a problem this year. An improvement today. 2nd and 18 for the 35. On the delay handoff, Hill able to keep his feet to the line of scrimmage originally and near the first down.
Nice job bouncing that outside. This is the threat that Justice Hill always presents. Is this some of these cutback lanes have to stay home and stay disciplined against the quickness that he has.
12th play of this drive. Oklahoma State trying to respond after the Lovett 75-yard touchdown run.
I like the matchup down low with Tylan Wallace.
Looking that way, Wallace the catch. Coverage by Riley Tejada.
I kind of like what they're doing here. I think oftentimes you get kind of an option route. If he plays off coverage like this, you run about 10 yards and run the stop route. If he plays more press coverage, they probably give him the latitude to go ahead and run a go route. But these jump ball attempts that we saw earlier in the game against Derek Thomas, that matchup is better against guys like Raleigh Tejada and Jamison Houston. And that's who Tylan Wallace has seen since Derek Thomas exited the game earlier.
Makes 1st and 10 at the 12.
I'd throw it to him again.
Well, he's looking that way. Wallace had a layout for it, incomplete. Tejada the coverage again.
Yeah, this time ends up running the slant route. Breaks towards the middle of the field. And Raleigh Tejada does a nice job breaking on it. A little low and inside. But these are the, I think, jump ball situations against Raleigh Tejada favor Tylan Wallace and his ability to go up and get the football. This is the time to do it. Not against Derek Thomas. Leads the country in contested catches.
Ball's at the 11. They can get a first down at the 1. Cornelius keeps, tucks, takes the hit inside the 5. Well, that's the advised way to do it.
Well, nice job keeping the football. He had the right read there. He's a big guy, though. He's 6'6". When you get in the open field, you got to lower your pad level a little bit. Give a chance to protect yourself. You got to protect yourself in the open field. Nice job reading it and getting yards, though.
Fade. Wallace, flag, incomplete.
Pass intended for Tylan Wallace, flag down.
Defense, pass interference, defense, number 13. Ball, all this stuff, bro. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Yeah, Raleigh Tejada a little frustrated there. I think oftentimes the receiver will go up and engage a defensive back. A little hand fighting there. Again, not looking for the football. He's got his hands all over him. That's going to get called every time. Got to turn around and find the football, especially if you're making contact. Otherwise, that's an easy call for an official. And Raleigh Tejada's got his hands full over there with Tylan Wallace the rest of the game.
First and goal at the 2. Hill surges ahead. Oklahoma State extends the lead. Hill over 100 yards today. And now a touchdown.
Nice job utilizing mismatches for the Oklahoma State offense. This time punching it in with their spectacular running back, Justice Hill, but putting themselves in position based off recognizing what really is a mismatch on the outside, letting Tylan Wallace, their elite receiver, go to work.
(31-21) just puts it through. Oklahoma State responds after the 75-yard touchdown run by Baylor. Hill from 2 yards out. 15 plays, 79 yards, 6:17 off the clock.
Waco, the best barbecue you've had?
Ooh, now that
maybe
a conversation that should have been started in the first quarter, for one thing.
We can go all quarter about that, huh?
I'm here to make friends, not enemies.
I'll tell you what, that brisket was special.
Very good, very good. Returnable inside the 5. Flakes not going far. Now Brewer and a quarterback again, attempting his first pass of the day, and he overthrows his man. Looking at that time for Chris Platt, the All-American 400-meter runner. Now, it was Brewer who was the quarterback for the last drive. It was a drive, but it was for one play. He handed the ball off. And John Lovett took care of everything else for 75 yards. Previous 4 drives, fewer than 20 yards. Or, pardon me, fewer than 20 plays, 64 yards.
Yeah, 21 points. Now, 7 of that is from that block punt. The other 7 is a 75-yard run by John Lovett. I think they're trying to generate a little more of a threat through the air with Brewer here on offense.
Complete. Flags come in. Ebner was the receiver. It was Ebner who recovered the block punt.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 4, 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
A.J. Green's been penalized a number of times today.
Yeah, just gets a little careless here, reaches out and grabs the face mask. I think if you look at Charlie Brewer's stat line last week, 1 for 8, 3 interceptions early in that game. You watch that film, yeah, it wasn't perfect, but those interceptions were not all his fault. It was a collective failure to bring in the football and secure it. They still feel really good about what he's able to do in this offense.
Brewer time. Brewer launching downfield, too far. Looking once again at Chris Platt. Now Platt, 5 of his 11 career touchdowns have been for 70 yards. Has recovered from an ACL injury last year.
Yeah, he's got great speed. He's got a step on the defender, no question. And Jalen McClendon and Charlie Brewer have been a little off on these deeper throws today. And we talked earlier about how the wind can affect that. They're throwing with the wind now, going in this direction. And both throws in this direction for Baylor quarterbacks have been sailed a little bit over the player's head.
The draw. Oh my goodness, what a crunch. You could hear that. Not what you want to see when your quarterback was pulled for a concussion last week. Passed all the protocol, was cleared to play on Thursday, in fact.
Devin Harper comes up and lays the wood. We could hear it from up here. Your response said everything for
3rd and 12 now. Baylor has passed for just 113 yards. Ball to 38. Brewer having to scramble, tucks. Try to take care of it, run into the sticks, absorbs the hit, and is right there to get enough for the first down.
For the other threat that Charlie Brewer presents, his mobility as well, like we saw with Jalen McClendon earlier. You end up in man-to-man, and guys down the field have their backs to the quarterback and leave him a running lane. He'll take advantage of it every time. Nice run for a first down.
He leads the Bears in rushing attempts and rushing touchdowns. Ball midfield. They had to love it. Picks up 6 on the run. Met by Malcolm Rodriguez, the safety. Under 7 minutes to play. Love it, the leading rusher. Despite fewer than 10 carries, 6 now for 104 yards. Of course, the 75-yard touchdown run, the bulk of it.
I haven't seen Jalen Hurd in a while. You see him to the slot. Number 5 up towards the top of your screen. He's got good command in the middle of the field.
Now Brewer looking that direction. Now flush. Headed for the sideline. We'll see if we get a flag here. And we do. Calvin Bundage.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Defense, number 1. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Adds on to a season-high total. Boy, to the head, too.
Yeah. It's not necessary. As you're putting a drive together for Baylor, I mean, critical error by the Oklahoma State defense.
11 penalties, 118 yards for Oklahoma State. 4 for just 37 yards. Meanwhile, for Baylor. Love it up the middle. Drag down. Another flag comes in.
Holding, offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's first down.
I believe that's Patrick Lawrence's second holding call of the day. The first one was on that pass rush by Jordan Brailford. This time in the run game, grabbing on. Matt Rule's still a little frustrated.
First and 20 from the 36. Now Brewer trying to figure out the play call here. Well, they get it off in time. Sets, fires, sideline, finds Hurd for the first down. Hurd on his feet into the end zone. What a catch and run. 36 yards for Jalen Hurd.
Well, what a play by Charlie Brewer. If you watch Jalen Hurd run the corner route, the corner up top falls off. It ends up being in position to make the play, overruns it a little bit. The ball sails over his head, and Jalen Hurd is able to concentrate, make the catch, and take it in for a touchdown.
Baylor just keeps coming back.
Boy, A.J. Green was in position to at least knock that ball down. The ball sailed a little more than he thought it would. And Jalen Hurd just keeps running, makes a great play.
Connor Martin puts it through. 31-28. Hurd on his feet. What a game here on homecoming weekend. Back after this. On the previous long passing play of the day, 21 yards to Josh Fleeks. First and 10 on the 39. It's a crowded backfield. Betty King. How do you approach this right now if you're Oklahoma State with time on the clock and the 3-point lead?
Well, I'm just noticing, too, Darren Thomas, the corner for Baylor, is back on the field, number 23, over the top of Tyler Wallace. That's been a better matchup for them today than Jamison Houston and Raleigh Tejada being over Tyler Wallace. I was going to say, go back to Tyler Wallace. That's your playmaker. But he's had issues getting separation from Thomas today, and Thomas, being the big guy that he is, has been able to win those jump ball battles and knock that ball down. Going to have to take advantage. I mean, Dylan Stoner's been a weapon over the middle of the field. It's a possibility for them as well.
They keep it on the ground. Once again to King, who picks up 2.
And they're very much in 4-minute mode here. 4-minute offense is a term, obviously, that's designated, meaning it's a ball control possession offense. Stay in bounds, no incompletions. We want to keep that clock ticking. So if they can put together decent chunks of yardage on the ground, expect them to stay with that. There's no need right now to try to give the ball back to Baylor, obviously. So their goal is to eat up clock, force Baylor to use timeouts, put together a long drive.
Trying to convert on 3rd and 4. Cornelius to pass. He's got enough for the first down. He finds his favorite target today, Tyron Johnson. He's been a busy man. He picks up 11. Johnson's 8th catch today.
Yeah, it's been these 10-yard stop routes, these timing routes, where Cornelius hits his back foot and drives the ball down the field. that have really resulted in a lot of success for the Oklahoma State offense, both with Tyron Johnson and also at times Tylan Wallace. Expect him to go back and try to pound the football here again and keep this clock ticking.
And they do. King upfield. Good run on first down.
It's not all that often, too, in this offense. You see both Cowboy backs. So fullback, H-back position, both Cowboy backs are in the game right now with Britton Abbott and Sione Inefeuyaki.
This is not the side of the field you want to be kicking to at the time. Gusting winds been a factor today. This has been all King on the ground. Baylor, one timeout remaining.
They just used it. I would go for the first down. Been effective in doing that.
And King and now Hubbard as well in the backfield. It's Hubbard in motion out. Cornelius on the draw. Fourth down coming. Gain of just one.
Here's where it gets interesting if you're Mike Gundy. Do you try to pin them inside the 10 and risk a touchback? Or do you go for it? And he's keeping his offense on the field. He's got 3 timeouts, though. Let this clock tick down. Still about 25 on the play clock.
It's 4th down.
Justice Hill is the running back. Stoner in motion. Cornelius rolls. Pressure on his feet. And he is brought down. What a stand by this Baylor defense.
Boy, a big risk there by Mike Gundy and his offense. I understand wanting to get Taylor Cornelius on the move outside. Doesn't have anybody open downfield. You just can't take a sack in that situation, though. Negative yards in that situation just puts Baylor that much closer to field position to get a tying field goal. At the very least, throw that ball away. At the very least. Unfortunate turn of events. That backfired a little bit for Mike Gundy and his offense.
It's a loss of 9. 4th sack today by this Baylor defense. Twice as many as they've had the last 2 weeks combined. 91 seconds left. Brewer, the quarterback. Brewer pressure. He steps up. Near first down. They'll stop the clock. It's a gain of 9. 1:22 to play.
On the other side of it, you give this Baylor offense the ball with all this momentum. Coming off the last drive with Charlie Brewer, which went really well for them, and now a huge defensive stop. Momentum is clearly on their side.
Brewer keeps it. Surges ahead. He's got enough for the first. No timeouts left for Baylor.
Expect to see some shots to Jalen Hurd down here in the slot in the middle of the trips formation at the bottom of your screen.
Finds Ebner out of the backfield at the 40.
It's a nice job by Ebner getting down as well, giving himself up, not wasting time, fighting for extra yards.
Now under a minute. On the ground, Ebner, big hole. A spin, and finally wrestled down. Pickup of 16 by Ebner.
Well, they got the Oklahoma defense on their heels right now. All the momentum in Baylor's favor.
Brewer looking in zone, overfires Hurd. Worth noting, going back to that for a moment, for the special teams, they did block a punt, which was returned for a touchdown. Big part of where they are on the scoreboard right now.
Second down.
Connor Galvin and Justin Phillips were tangled up after that play, about 15 yards behind the play. Couldn't tell if the official was going to run over and throw a flag or not.
Looking in zone.
And a flag comes in. Looking for Marcus Jones.
Pass interference. Defense, number 20. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
The safety, Malcolm Rodriguez.
Yeah, they're trying to get Marcus Jones on the inside of that trips formation. That looked like more like illegal contact really than anything else, but I guess they said the ball was already in the air, so they're going to give him PI. And that ball has sailed quite a bit on Charlie Brewer on some of those throws to that side of the field, and I have to believe the wind is playing a factor there. His downfield throwing, it's been more accurate than that over the course of the year.
First and goal at the 8. Brewer rolls. Pressured and just heaves it away. Now remember, entering this game, 14 goal-to-go situations this year for Baylor. They had scored 14 touchdowns. Today, they couldn't have scored 2 touchdowns in either of their first 2.
Yeah, it's a situation that they're pretty comfortable in. Obviously, today it's been a little bit different, but this team has executed really well in goal-to-go situations like they are right now. And again, I still think your best weapon in tight spaces like this is Jalen Hurd. 6'4" frame, big physical, strong receiver that can make plays in traffic.
On second and goal, Brewer the draw, spins, and is wrapped up and brought down. Under 20 seconds.
Gotta move. It's a danger of a running play at this point. No timeouts left, and gotta give yourself a chance to take a shot at the end zone.
Looking Mims' way. Mims! What a sensational catch for the go-ahead score! His first catch today has put Baylor on top with 7 seconds remaining.
I think his play time had been minimized today as a result of getting young guys on the field, but that is how you throw a goal line fade if you're Charlie Brewer. Put that thing on a line and let your playmaker go up and make a play. Outstanding catch by Denzel Mims.
7 seconds away from a signature win for Matt Rule and this rebuilding Baylor program.
You know, we've talked a lot about Tylan Wallace and his ability to go up and get the football, but Denzel Mims says, what you can do, I can do better. And what a play in traffic against A.J. Green. Strong hands ripping that ball out of the air, and I love the trajectory of the throw by Charlie Brewer. Put that thing on a line and let him go get it. All too often we see those things kind of drift up in the air and float out of bounds, especially with the wind today. That ball cuts right through the air, and he puts it where only Denzel Mims can go make what should be the game-winning play for the Baylor Bears.
Sailor Bear is smiling here on homecoming.
This is a talented receiving group, and he's been a little quiet as of late. But as we said a minute ago, this guy had 1,000 yards receiving, or over 1,000 yards receiving last year. And they know they can always go back to him, seasoned playmaker for this Baylor Bear football team.
And not only had he not had a catch, really hadn't even been targeted.
Sure. I hadn't even seen him on the field all that much, to be honest with you. You know, we mentioned Tyquan Thornton and Josh Fleeks getting in there more. Hadn't seen him a whole lot.
Cornelius, the catch made. Stoner flips it back. The lateral game has begun. To the offensive lineman, and that is the game on homecoming. Baylor with a signature win under second-year head coach Matt Rule. They win it 35-31 and take down Oklahoma State. This a game last year that Baylor lost 59-16, and they win it today.
What a game, and what an accomplishment for the Baylor Bears and Matt Rule. Getting to 5 wins, going over 500. We have the added benefit of seeing the coaches' press box up in here. These coaches are more than thrilled to see what this young team has done here today.
What a game, what a win for Baylor. Right now, let's get you out to Kansas State at TCU. Corey Provis, Ben Lieber with the call.